Perfect. Alright guys, what's going on? I have to do this one real quick because I have to get to work. If you like the hat, check it out. Sweet, isn't it? You can get it at firstwarrior.com. Use my discount code to HemanUSA to get 10% off. I just got this thing yesterday. I did an unboxing on TikTok. Check it out. I'm on there. So there's that. Now let's get into Turning Point USA. Recently, Brandi Love was kicked out of an event at Turning Point USA because of the work she does. Now, if you guys don't know who Brandi Love is, she is America's mom. Basically, she is an adult actress. That's all I can say about that. I'm pretty sure you guys can do your research and look into that. But yeah, apparently she was kicked out of an event at Turning Point USA for the kind of work she does. Now, I have my issues with that. A lot of you guys may not like what I have to say, but I have to speak my mind. I have to keep it consistent. If I have to bash liberals, I have to give my 2 cents on conservatives as well. Well, a certain section of the conservative movement, so that I'm kind of seeing. But the synopsis of it. Let me read you out this article here that is from a news radio show. Let's see. Brandi Love is a conservative, passionate supporter of President Trump. Now that's the thing I didn't know. I didn't know she was a conservative, and I didn't know she was a supporter of Trump. Let's see. She was excited to attend Turning Point USA, student action summit in Tampa this past weekend. She bought an exclusive VIP ticket and attended several of the first speakers who were told the crowd to speak out against censorship and cancel culture, which is very ironic, being that she was kind of canceled at that event because she couldn't go to the event, being that the fact that she works in the adult industry. That's ironic. Brandi returned to her room to find an email from Turning Point USA revoking her paid ticket and rejecting her from the summit based solely on her job in the entertainment field. This is the very cancel culture speakers had just spoken against. It's also, in my opinion, a reflection of the dangerous elitism within conservative ranks. I do understand that, but let me kind of give you guys why they kind of did this. I'm gonna link this article down below as well, but I want to get into what Brandi had to say, like her response to all this. Let's see. Apparently there were some Christian conservatives who were who didn't like the fact that she was there, being that she works in the adult industry. It says Turning Point USA they got some backlash, and in doing so they had to keep with the standards of operating procedures to not involve porn stars, influencers, or personalities that post public sexual, explicit, pornographic content. So there's that. Let's see. This is the other thing I was getting to. There are a few concerned parents rightly alerted us to the extremely pornographic nature of her social media posts, and the event leadership immediately took the appropriate steps in keeping with the best interests of the minors present at the event. Furthermore, Ms. Love purchased a VIP ticket. She was not invited, nor was her attendance somehow requested by the organization. The bottom line is that simply this is not appropriate for a porn star to actively be posting images at an event with 15 or 16-year-olds present in conjunction with graphic pornography. Now, that I can understand why Turning Point USA did this, because if people knew that Brandi Love was there and these little kids are there, you want to protect the kids. I can see why they did it, but also closing off your event and trying to that's a very sticky situation, man, because it kind of closes off the umbrella of who can actually join one of these conservative summits. Like only the best of the best, or the elites, like how this article said, can join. And I mean, that's a tricky line to toe, well, to towel, whatever. But let's get into this recording here. Let's see what Brandi Love, what her response was.
And thank you so much for listening. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social platforms at Scott Sands, and find the Scott Sands Show on our free iHeartRadio app. You can like, follow, and subscribe there as well so you don't miss a thing. This past weekend, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's organization, a great conservative action organization, a great political action committee. They do great work on social media. They've got some amazing young conservatives who work with Turning Point USA, held a student action summit in Tampa, Florida. And it's a big convention. They had a ton of amazing speakers lined up to talk about the Republican movement, about conservatism, to help teach young people how to articulate conservative values to others in the world, and maybe even to create the new generation of conservative thought leaders around the country. A great event. Well, until you get kicked out of it if you're a conservative and a Trump supporter. And that's just what happened to Brandi Love. Do you know the name Brandi Love? Brandi Love, it's not her real name, it's her stage name, is an adult entertainer. BRANDI_Love on Twitter. You can find her on OnlyFans as well. Meet Brandi with an I. If you want to subscribe to hers as well. And she's a Trump supporter. She's an outspoken conservative. She's taken flack for that in the adult entertainment industry for her outspoken support of President Trump and conservative values. She bought an adult VIP ticket to go to this Turning Point USA event and was there and had actually tweeted, "It's good to be around so many young conservatives. Gives me some hope." Was excited to be there. Attended a little bit of the event. Got back to her room. Got an email saying that you're no longer welcome here. We're kicking you out of this event because of what you do for a living. We don't believe that it reflects conservative values. And this is part of the elitist problem and perception that I think the Republican Party is gathering and doing nothing at all to change. We should be opening the tent to more people who believe the same way that conservatives do. But instead, showing the hypocrisy of the party and making the tent smaller and making people feel unwelcome as Republicans, as conservatives. And that's a mistake, and that's why I wanted to talk with porn star Brandi Love, who's joining us now on the Scott Sands Show. Brandi, it's so nice to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time last minute this afternoon.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So am I getting the gist of the story right? You wanted to go see the speakers that were there at this Turning Point USA conference in Tampa, so you actually bought a ticket. You weren't invited there. You didn't ask to go. You paid to go as any other spectator would.
As Twitter would have it, of course, there's some crazy rumors that are floating around. And the truth of the matter is, most people who are either a fan or a foe of me know that I believe in conservative values politically. I still love and will always be a MAGA girl because I believe in America first and the principles behind it. I believe in the diversity of this country. I believe in personal liberties and freedoms. And I honestly,
I didn't even know all this.
Incredibly naively so, thought that going to this Charlie Kirk TPUSA event with the list of impressive speakers, people I've watched on news and radio for years, I really was I was geeked. I was amped up, and it was on my Twitter how excited I was. I purchased a ticket. I was not invited. I'm a private citizen who heard of the event and with some friends went and bought my VIP tickets, which, yes, it's true, they were around $500. And my husband and I purchased those, showed up, registered. I have my lanyard. I got my lanyard. I went through the exposition, the exhibitors hall, and then spent 3.5 hours listening to the first run of speakers, which was Charlie Kirk himself, Tim and Dan Bongino, and all impressive speakers, right? They got us all jacked up. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Charlie himself speaks of the importance of losing things and putting yourself out there in the name of conservatism and conservatism. Can't say that word. My tongue's too fat. Sorry. And I'm just sitting there looking at my friends and my husband. I said, wow, that's right up our alley. I've lost a lot. Cancel culture's come after me. I've taken my whippings and I've stood my ground. I'm in the right place. Guess what I got in my email when I returned home from the conference? The very email you can find on Twitter that says, we're sorry to inform you, but we're going to revoke your pass. You are not invited. This decision is final. And I love the tagline. Consider coming to another one in the future. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll take your $500 again, but then we'll kick you out one more time. Did somebody complain? Is that what you understand? I mean, I've read a lot on Twitter as well in the last 24 hours, and I've seen your comments. I've read some stories online. I mean, I think the argument that's been made is that what you do for a living doesn't conform with what their belief of conservative values are, and in some of these tags, it's Christian conservative values. But I don't understand why it's impossible to not be a conservative and do what you do, to star in adult entertainment, or to even be Christian. I think that we have such narrow-minded views today. These labels of what a conservative, a Republican, a Trump supporter, a Christian is supposed to be. And for that matter, on the other side of the aisle politically, liberals, I think, have gotten narrow-minded on what is acceptable to be a liberal, to be a Democrat, to be a progressive, and that tent is getting even smaller.
And let me I was very naive. I can admit that. To believe that I could just go and have fun around like-minded patriots. That's on me. My eyes were open to the reality of what tpusa is, and when I say that, I'm not going to do as many do and make a broad statement. Do I believe there are some really great people in that organization? Yes. Did I meet any of them? No. If that makes sense to you, I'm just being honest.
Right.
The people who are hitting me up on Twitter, I mean, one of them claims to be a part of the GOP and part of Turning Point USA, and he was the most blatantly offensive, degrading, immoral human being I've ever chatted with on Twitter, and he should be ashamed of himself. And he can go ahead and say that back to me, but what I do is a legal business in the United States of America. I'm a grown-ass businesswoman that chose this profession. I love my profession, which is clearly more than many of them can say. And I'm one of the most authentic, honest people about my job and my profession and my positions. And the fact that many conservatives, I call us, sex, drink, and rock and roll conservatives, there's a lot of us. And this whole movement on the right, which isn't really the Republican Party, it's a faction of them who claim to be morally perfect and believe that they can dictate and literally legalize morality. We should all be scared of them. And then we've got the left dictating to us how we should act, what words we can say, what we can do, whom we can support. What opened my eyes this weekend was, holy, we have two dictatorships fighting for power, and we the people are being tossed under the rug. What's good for the American people is no longer a consideration. At least that's how it feels from my perspective.
Right. We're talking with Brandi Love. Brandi, we're on broadcast radio, so I
Shit.
had to dump you there. So
I'm sorry. I should have asked first. I'm sorry. I'll try to behave, Scott. I'll try to behave.
I should have told you first. Brandi Love here on the Scott Sands Show. You can find her at Brandi_Love. That's with an I. Look, I've even seen the hypocrisy today in your replies on social media from writers and commentators with Daily Caller and the Federalist, two publications that you have actually contributed to, which I find extremely funny to watch.
Well, I've written a few articles for the Federalist, and I've done some video interviews. I've done some work with them and Newsweek with regarding conservative commentaries, their op-eds, and the one with the Daily Caller was a whole series of videos between Terry Schilling and myself, who is he's very right-wing conservative, lovely human being. We had an incredible time, and it was talking about things like digital ID, the pros and cons of it, and all in effort to protect children from viewing things that they shouldn't be able to view. And that goes from, in my opinion, everything from adult entertainment to being able to buy alcohol or drugs online to gambling. I mean, why is it always just about adult? There are other things we need to protect our children from. And I've, from the beginning of my career in 2004, fought for a digital ID type paywall, if you will, so that we can protect our children. And it's just so odd to me that 90%, let's go low, let's say 70% of my core beliefs are in line with conservative principle core values, if you will. I mean, the basics: small government, the rule of law, fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity. You know, these are usually the things that conservatives can get along with. And they're attacking me over not the 75% to 80% that we agree with. They're simply stopping at my chosen profession and look no further. How close-minded can a group of people be?
Well, in many ways, it's part of the elitist problem that the Republican Party itself seems to have right now, and part of the reason why the Republican Party as a party is failing to expand that tent and attract new voters and new people into
feeling the culture war.
Donald Trump did an amazing job attracting some new people to become interested in the party and interested in what became known as Trumpism. But I think the question that we're seeing, and Brandi, how would you respond to these conservative Christians, the members of Turning Point USA that kicked you out of their event over the weekend, that say you cannot be a conservative if you're going to be an adult entertainer? What you do is not conservative. And is it possible to do what you do and still be a Christian? Or is that even important now to conservatism?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know anymore what's important to conservatives, because as a political movement, at our core, we believe in what I just mentioned about small government, personal liberties.
Except when we're in office. When Republicans are in office, it's about expanding government and spending money.
Well, I don't seem to see a difference lately about who's in government. It always seems like a power grab, because everything that's promised prior to getting into office kind of gets pushed away and ignored, and they continue to grow. The only person I've seen not do that was Trump.
Absolutely.
Our country and our individual people were never doing better. And that's across the board. You know, Trump might have been polarizing. I kind of feel his pain, but I don't ever think it was the intention. It was always good. It was always felt to me the good of the American people. And I feel the same way. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you believe. Can we agree to live in this most beautiful of diverse countries and live under a rule of law where everybody, under their own personal responsibility, can take care of themselves to whatever degree they want? You work hard, you have much. You don't work, you suffer. I mean, those are just common American basic values. And the fact that, and again, this isn't conservatives. This is a very small faction of radical right-wing Christians that are hitting up Twitter and attacking me and telling me I'm not a conservative. I mean, who other than God himself can tell you you're not a Christian? And anybody who tries to do that, ooh, that's a little spooky. I wouldn't want to put myself in that position to make that call.
Right. And then the whole irony of this is that as you were being kicked out of the Turning Point USA conference, they were talking about ending cancel culture. And
I said the same thing.
Hypocritical. Brandi, I've got to wrap things up here in a minute. I've got to take a commercial break, but when are you going to run for office now and stand up and do something about it?
I'll tell you what, after what I've seen, never. But what I will tell you this is I will never stop believing what I believe and standing for our country and for the American people. I will never stop.
And you faced backlash. You've lost money, I'm sure, and job opportunities because you've been outspoken about being a conservative, and in Hollywood and in the adult industry, that's probably severely frowned upon.
It is, but I'll tell you something that I find to be very interesting, and this is the thing that I love about most Americans. people can see authenticity. Whether they agree with you or they don't agree with you, they know when you're being real and they know when you're being fake. And I have no doubt that my success at what I've done is because my fans know exactly who I am. What I say is what I mean is what I say. And when they really want to have fun, with a small minimal paywall, they hit me up on Only Brandi, and it's not just about adult entertainment. We talk about everything, including politics.
OnlyBrandi.com and Brandi_love. Brandi, I really appreciate you letting me call you last minute like this to talk about and share your story, and I would love to have you on the show again.
Scott, it was my pleasure, and I look forward to it.
You don't want to pay more than you
All right.
have to.
So let's kind of break this down, and let me hurry up because I have to get out of here. I see both sides of the argument, but I don't like that Turning Point kicked her out like this, man. Let's break it down. You have the Christian conservatives, the closed-minded people, like Brandi Love said, and then you have this other different section of people who are conservative, who aren't really in line with that conservative movement. Now, look again. Whether you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say, that's irrelevant, okay? Because I feel as though if there's going to be a fucking like requirement of everything you have to be in order to be a conservative, hell, I'll just be an American, bro. I'll just be a patriot. Even though a lot of my values tend to lean towards the right. I don't care if you call me, a conservative, a conservative light or whatever, or just a Trumper, but I don't like that Turning Point did this. I don't like that they kicked her out, man. Like, we have lost the White House, okay? We lost the White House. We barely have any control in the Senate. We should be really expanding our tent just a little bit wider. Now, the issue also with that is that it comes with the name conservatism. Like, you want to keep a kind of a standard of what conservatives really are, because if you just let everyone in, then you're no better than the liberals. So I get that angle, I get that viewpoint, but the fact is that so many people are so close-minded, and really it's the elites of the Republican Party, of the conservatives. I think that's really why the amazing Lucas lost so many subscribers, is that I guess he's part of that old faction of conservatives and the old way of conservative thinking, which again, I see that angle, I see that side, because you just don't want to let everyone, kind of infiltrate the party. And now, conservatism is different than what it was. I understand it. But like Brandi said, 70 to 80% of her values line up with the party, line up with conservatives. Why'd you kick her out just because she does what she does? Now, you can disagree with it. You can have a problem with it. That's cool. But again, why kick a private citizen out? Now, again, looking at the other side, I understand why Turning Point did it. I understand why Turning Point did it, to protect the children. I get that. But look at everything else that they're exposed to besides just pornography. And again, Brandi Love has a lot of power and a lot of sway. If you guys would have let her join in, even if you disagreed with it, it would have gotten some more people saying, hey, maybe conservatives aren't, stuck up assholes like the media portrays them to be. Maybe they're actually, kind of cool. Maybe they're all right. But the fact is that you guys did this. And the fact is that, again, I understand why they did this. But again, it's going to hurt the movement more, because, like, okay, now people are saying, oh, only certain people can be conservatives. Only certain people can, rock with Republicans and whatnot. Like, only, rich white guys or girls or whatever. Like, only the best of the best. Only those, who see themselves as above the rest of the people. They're going to use that, and it's going to keep that tent just so tiny. And again, even if the Christian, that's my issue with Christians, bro. Even if you guys had a fucking problem with Brandi Love, okay, Let her attend the event. Let her meet some people. Let her, network with some people. Maybe she can meet a friend or something, like a good Christian friend that can kind of lead her out of the job and lifestyle that she was living. Hell, even Jesus, when he walked this earth, even he hung out with the lowest of the low. He hung out with the people that were the worst kinds of sinners. So to call yourself a Christian and yet to proclaim that, oh, you're better than someone else because of what they do, to hold yourself in such high esteem, saying, hey, because you do this, I see myself as better than you, and I won't accept you as who you are. And yet you proclaim yourself to be a Christian, and yet Jesus himself hung out with sinners, with heretics, with the worst of society, preaching his message. Bro, I can't fucking talk today. I need my coffee. And yet you're proclaiming yourself to be so high mighty and so self-righteous. So are you saying that you're better than Jesus himself? Bro, if we're gonna go down this fucking path of gatekeeping and who can be a conservative, then, bro, you got in my personal life, I wouldn't. If that's the case, I wouldn't be considered a conservative, because you can't drink, you can't have sex before marriage, can't smoke weed, all that stuff, get ear piercings, tattoos. Well, there are some people who say different things on that. I don't know for sure, but let's just keep running with that. All those Christians who have all those things and have done all those things, they can't be considered a conservative or a Christian. Look at ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. What, he doesn't believe in God, or is an atheist or an agnostic, one of the two. But if he's that, does that mean he's not a true conservative, because conservatives believe in being a true Christian and believing in Jesus Christ and God and such? Is he not a conservative if we're gonna gatekeep like this? Stupid, man. Come on. Like, this is why conservatives lose the culture war every fucking time, man. And the more I dig into it, the more I see it. Now, again, I'm not saying conservatives are as bad as liberals, because liberals are just Looney Tune, batshit crazy nut jobs. But you guys really have a fucking problem over here. And the more time that I see this, and the more time that I spend over here, I'm seeing it more and more. Kick out Brandi Love. Why? We have bigger fish to fry other than what Brandi Love does with her private life. I don't know, but again, I understand. I see both sides of the argument, but I'm still rocking with the fact as though this could have been a good thing for the movement. She paid her ticket as a public citizen, or as a private citizen. And you kick her out just because she does what she does at her job. So if that's the case, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, what about all those people that euthanize people in prisons that want to consider themselves conservatives? It says in the book, thou shalt not kill, and yet they're sticking a needle into their arm and giving that, fluid to make them go sleepy forever. I can't say the words because YouTube, but or they'll, I don't know if they still use the electric chair. What about all those people that have killed criminals? Now, yes, again, there were criminals, the worst of the worst in society, but they still killed a human being. Are they not considered conservative? If we're gonna gatekeep like this, everyone that has ever sinned can't be considered a conservative then. Stupid. You see how stupid this thinking leads? If you want to be consistent on a principle, you have to be consistent on all sides. That's how I feel, man. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Again, I don't feel like, come on, Turning Point, come on. We have, this could have, I'm getting out of here, man. Let me know what you guys think about this, man. Again, let me know your grievances with it, if you agreed or disagreed. Again, I don't give two shits if everyone just disliked this video, because I have to keep it consistent. That's the only reason why I still kind of fuck with Lucas, is because even though Lucas is kind of saying the unpopular thing right now, and the more I see it, the more I kind of understand his thinking. Even though he's losing subscribers, he's still consistent in the way that he's thinking. even though I may disagree with it. He's consistent. So I guess I understand Lucas a little bit more now, even though I still disagree with him. But man, guys, come on. We have to at least extend the olive branch just a little bit further. I'm not saying just let anyone and everyone rampage through the party. I'm not saying that. I'm saying let's just cast a bit of a wider net to gather more fish. I'm getting out of here, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.